Crazy reasons people went to war.
In 1828, a French pastry chef living near Mexico City had a shop looted during riots. He claimed Mexican soldiers wrecked it and demanded compensation. Mexico basically shrugged and ignored him. Fast forward 10 years, France had a long list of complaints against Mexico: unpaid debts, mistreatment of French citizens, and economic losses. They were already planning to pressure Mexico, but they needed a clear excuse. The pastry chef's story became the perfect one. So, in 1838, France demanded 600,000 pesos in damages. Mexico refused. France responded by sending warships, blockading Mexican ports, and bombarding the fortress of San Juan de Ulua at Veracruz. The fighting dragged on for months, disrupting Mexico's economy and stability. Finally, with Britain stepping in to mediate, Mexico gave in and agreed to pay. And that's how a French pastry chef's looted bakery helped spark a war. Italy, 1325. The cities of Modena and Bologna already hated each other. Part of the reason was politics. Bologna leaned toward the papal side, supporting the Pope, while Modena was more aligned with the Holy Roman Emperor. Then came the spark, a wooden bucket. One day, Modenese soldiers stole a wooden bucket from Bologna as well. Bologna got furious because it was a massive insult to their honor. They demanded the bucket back. Modena refused. And Bologna declared war. And just like that, thousands of men marched into battle for a bucket. Despite being outnumbered, Modena crushed Bologna. Hundreds were killed, and Bologna was humiliated. Modena won, kept the bucket, and showed it off as a trophy. Believe it or not, that same bucket is still in Modena today. 700 years later, they're still proud of winning the bucket war. It all started on the San Juan Islands, a group of islands between what is now Washington State and Vancouver Island. Both the United States and Britain claimed the islands, but no one had fully settled the dispute. Then came the pig. An American farmer named Lyman Cutler found a pig rooting around in his potato patch. The pig belonged to an Irishman who worked for the Hudson's Bay Company, a British trading firm. Angry that the pig was destroying his crops, Cutler shot it. That single gunshot triggered an international incident. The British were outraged and demanded compensation. Cutler refused, saying the pig had ruined his livelihood. Both nations used this as an excuse to flex their claims on the islands. Soon, U.S. troops landed on San Juan Island, led by Captain George Pickett. In response, the British sent naval warships to the area. Tension skyrocketed. For a moment, it looked like the two nations were about to go to war over one pig. Luckily, cooler heads prevailed. Neither side wanted to actually fight, so both agreed to a joint military occupation of the island while diplomats negotiated. Finally, in 1872, arbitration by Germany's Kaiser Wilhelm I settled the dispute. The San Juan Islands were awarded to the United States.
Germany, 1429. In the Holy Roman Empire, local lords loved tolls. If you wanted to move goods along the roads or across borders, you had to pay. That year, a merchant from Tyrol was hauling a cart of apples into Bavaria. At the border, Bavarian toll guards stopped him and seized the cart, claiming the merchant hadn't paid the proper tax. To the Tyroleans, this wasn't just about money, it was outright theft and an insult to their rights. Word of the incident spread quickly. Instead of negotiating, Tyrolean militias struck back first, raiding Bavarian villages near the border. Homes were burned, goods stolen. Bavaria retaliated with their own raids, and soon both sides were locked in a cycle of violence. Eventually, higher nobles stepped in to restore order because no one wanted a full-scale civil war inside the empire over fruit.
In September 1788, during the Austro-Turkish War, one of the strangest battles in history unfolded. The Austrian army, about 100,000 strong, was camped near the town of Caransebeș in modern-day Romania. One night, a cavalry patrol went out looking for Ottoman soldiers. Instead of finding the enemy, they came across a group of gypsies, who offered them alcohol. The cavalrymen bought the liquor and started drinking. Later, Austrian infantry passed by and demanded to join in. The cavalry refused. Tensions rose, insults were exchanged, and a fistfight broke out. Soon, shots were fired. In the chaos, someone shouted that the Turks were attacking. Panic swept through the camp. Part of the confusion came from the army itself. Austrian forces were a mix of Germans, Hungarians, Serbs, Croats, Italians, and others. Orders were shouted in different languages, and in the darkness, many soldiers couldn't tell friend from foe. Adding to the chaos, units wore different uniforms depending on their origin, and in the pitch-black night, the silhouettes looked unfamiliar. Officers tried to calm their men, but when they shouted commands in German, Hungarian, or Serbian, soldiers who didn't understand assumed it was the Ottomans yelling. By morning, thousands were dead or wounded, all at the hands of their own comrades. And when the actual Ottoman army arrived 2 days later, they found Caransebeș abandoned and captured it without firing a single shot.